Live then. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mike's all working tonight then, yeah? We're all good?
I believe so. Let me know if it stops.
Okay, cool. It sounds like we're good. It sounds like we're good. So let's just crack on with things then. Welcome to Roundtable 94. We're fastly approaching that number 100. I'm looking forward to that. So, for those of you who don't know, and those of you that do, catch up with the WNG team, and you get to find out what's planned for the coming week. A quick recap on what's been going on, and we'll do some Q&A throughout, after, and generally wherever we can fit it in. If you've not already, please follow us on YouTube and our socials. Links to that are in the README section, and it all helps. Feed the algorithm, it's all good. So let's get some general news out of the way then. Yet again, I find myself here saying I would like to draw attention again to tickets when servers go down. They're simply just not being submitted sometimes. It's cool to do tickets, especially for down servers. We like these. These are good. Last night I had to get out of bed. A server crashed about 5 minutes before I was due to sleep. And you were all very lucky I left the TV on. Woke up, thought, oh crap, the TV's on, checked my phone, and then had Tula furiously pinging me away, trying to wake me up. So I don't mind getting up, but could have been avoided. Please do ticket dead servers. Then secondly, as I feel this is important, it's been a couple of weeks now, wanted to have a quick catch up on what's going on with the traders, the mood within the server. Hopefully things are settling down now. So how is it going, basically? Some feedback if you can. Is there stuff still going on in the background? Again, I don't know. If people are still feeling uncomfortable and there's still stuff going on, please come forward, ticket it. We need to know if there are issues. We can do stuff about it if we know about it. We can't if we don't. You've all got a voice here, and all voices will be respected and taken seriously, always. And again, pointing out if there's problems, please do let us know. Don't just exit out of the door and then leave me chasing you into the distance. Anyone who does cause us trouble is going to be asked to leave. We have a zero tolerance approach now, which brings me on to another good point we've got coming up. But yeah, again, just to recap, if servers go down, please ticket them. I literally know about admin plus have voice here. That is true, but we do have a chat. It would be absolute chaos if we let everybody talk. That said, I have wondered what it would be like if we did let everybody talk, so maybe we'll try that some other time. That's cool. So, again, as I mentioned, we are moving on from that. We are recruiting again. Yay! So, we're looking for some moderators. Go on, you got something to add?
No, it's just on your comments from Al Dano. Nani literally no one but Admin Plus has voice here. Well, your voice was heard.
Yes.
And we responded.
We are listening. Definitely listening. So yeah, our recruiting again. We're looking for some moderators. So interested in hearing from people who've got some time spent on the server, know the mechanics, friendly, helpful people. The main role is going to be basically just greeting new players, keeping an eye out for arguments and stuff, calming things down without being provocative, and generally just being helpful. That's all we're asking. Reminding people to link maybe, decay times, that sort of stuff.
The primary role of a moderator, and slightly different to what you'd expect elsewhere, is, and this is the way I see it, is just to be nice and be helpful to members of the community. Questions are asked, try and answer them to the best of your ability. If you can't, then find somebody that can.
Yeah.
It's just a meet and greet, and just keep an eye on chat and help everybody in any way that you can. Doesn't necessarily have to be in-game help. We're just talking chat.
Exactly. Again, like I was saying, the moderator role comes with no admin powers. There's no trigger fingers and red guns or anything like that. It's purely a helpful and friendly role for the community, for people who are trusted to help and better serve the community and make it a better place. We've already had, I think we've had about 5 or 6 in already. But still, again, if you feel like you've got something to add, you've been here a while, and you're usually just your usual friendly self, go for it. All moderators and admins have got full access to all of the staff and other moderators and admins, and are always backed up. You don't stand alone, and you can always ask for help. So yeah, if you're interested and you've got something to add, or you're just generally helpful and know the community, Let's hear from you. It's all good. Exactly. Many friendly gestures. Doesn't look too friendly there. Rather serious, in fact.
He looks stretched.
There he's waving. There he goes. Yeah, he does look a little bit stretched. Get on the rack, methinks. Not slag off Ryan. Is that right? It is Ryan Reynolds. I don't know the movie there. What's the movie? What quiz? Name me that movie. Free Guy. Is it Free Guy? I've only seen it once.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, Free Guy's. That's the readers. That's the one where he's kind of in the middle of kind of the matrix for other people's entertainment. It's kind of like the Truman Show kind of thing. But it was quite funny. I enjoyed that. So let's pop off with some more news then, and then we can go through some questions, answers, and generally have a chat. Arc stuff. So first and foremost, I'll do these in reverse order just to be impossible. Trading post tribe vaults are rolling out very nicely now. I think, and will most likely be corrected quickly if I'm wrong, that all is left now, I believe, is Fjordjaw, Genesis 1, and Ab.
Oh, I think you will be corrected.
Oh, go on. Do tell.
I think it's only Fjordjaw that's left now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ab is done. There we go. Ab is confirmed done. Gen 1 is... Oh, wow, cool. Okay. So, Fjordjaw to be done. So, if
Fjordjaw's
you...
my job.
Cool. Yeah. DJ's going to be beautifully rebuilding Fjordjaw. I can't wait to see what's going on there. Was it 16 hours you'd quoted for that? Let's see some cool stuff.
Yes, I did.
So if you do have a old style vault on any of the islands, then please go ahead and empty your vault and move it over into the new ones that you can self-claim. Because pretty shortly we'll be clearing up the old ones to make space for all new and cool stuff, and things will be going boom.
I did finish a hack job to our mod last night.
Okay.
That will allow us to force assign tribe vaults to tribes.
Nice. I did see you put the command in. That's really cool.
When I say it is a hack job, because it has issues.
Oh, God. Are there issues we're allowed to laugh at and point, or they are
nothing that will cause... Well, I don't want to go into too much detail.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, yeah.
Yeah. When you change things on an item in Arc, you have to replicate those changes around to all the clients nearby. Because I'm doing it through a command that's connected to an object that sits somewhere in the world to control all our functionality, not the actual player or person, the replication doesn't happen automatically. So my first thing was you can run the command and then it appears nothing has happened. If you then fly 75 foundations away, which is the stasis range, it goes into stasis, then you fly back and it'll have all updated. However, I managed to fix that by forcing replication, but there's a bug if you assign it to somebody, unclaim it, then assign it to somebody again, it doesn't replicate properly. So if you assign it, but it'll be fine if it's used normally.
Okay, cool.
So if we fuck up while we're doing it and assign it to the wrong tribe, just might as well red gun it and
put another one down.
Yeah, and do another one.
Cool, no problem. Plumpfish has a question. Will the old vault stop existing? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, we're talking about trading posts here. So on the trading posts, there are a set of vaults stuck to the wall where player tribes can request some storage at the trading posts. It's aimed at so that you can do some farming on that map, gather it all in one place, and then move it off or do whatever you need to do with it. So some tribes have the old style ones where you would have to submit a ticket, and we give you a pin code, and that's all good. The new ones that have been created, you can just walk up to them and claim them. So we're asking people who have one of the old ones, can you move your stuff over, please? Before we have to remove the older ones. If that was your question. We weren't talking about vaults in general or being removed. Okay, cool.
It's a good idea to grab one, because the number of times we see people, kind of like they put up little temporary structures just to house some stuff in while they're on the map, or you kind of you go to leave the map from the trading post and like, oh crap, I can't take this with me, I need to put it somewhere. You've got storage at the trading post now, and you can teleport straight there to get it. So it's quite a useful little feature.
It's pretty
Means
cool.
you don't have to build on maps you're just temporarily visiting.
Don't worry about them decaying or all your boxes, because these things don't decay.
No, they're immune from decay.
That's all really cool. And unless you have something to add, the other change I have would be the upcoming changes to S Plus, if you want to explain those.
The first and most important change that will be happening tomorrow is the removal of the restrictions on accessing unlocked structures.
That's pretty cool. So no more hopping from people's teleporters to teleporters, dragging their dinos halfway around the map. That's awesome.
Not that. The so when we first started, we found that occasionally you would get people who would leave things unlocked in their bases, like a vault, for example, or a crafting station. And then they wouldn't put a roof on their base, and they'd leave all their doors open and leave their windows open. And they'd come back later to find somebody's climbed through a window or flown in through the roof and gone through all their unlocked storage and crafting units and taken all their stuff. At the time, we were growing and we thought, okay, this is bad, so we need a solution. So we locked it down so that only somebody in your tribe can access unlocked structures. All good. However, that lockdown does not play well with some structures, and it also means you're very restricted in what you can leave unlocked for other people to access, like the community boxes and a few other things like oil pumps and stuff like that. To the point where it gets quite confusing for new players who come on. They're like, "Oh, I got a box. I've unlocked it, and my mate can't take anything out of it. Which box do I have to put down?" And all this kind of stuff. So we're kind of going to put that back in the hands of the community. Whenever you place a structure, it will automatically be locked. That is never going to change. If you unlock a structure, you are taking full responsibility for it being unlocked and must be aware that anybody can access that structure if it is unlocked. And that's kind of common sense. You leave your house, you leave the door unlocked. That's kind of your choice. But yeah, so we'll be removing that protection. No, it won't affect corpse bags. Only you will be able to pick up corpse bags and tribe members.
Rumor that the Felix Felicitas potions doesn't work with the new cave drop route. Couldn't be.
In fact, it should work very well with the cave drop tuning.
Yeah.
More so than it did before. How would you tell?
Yeah, that is the question. But in theory, there is nothing that should block Felix potions working at all. Don't think.
Luke was worse. It can't get worse.
Love it.
It doesn't re-roll it. It adds to it. So once the buff is applied and you see the sparkles on the loot crate, it increases your chances. It increases quantity and quality, I believe.
When you say re-rolled Nugget, you mean you looked in the thing and then popped a potion, looked in again, and it was completely different?
Yeah, that's entirely that is kind of entirely right. But the stuff that you've got in there, there should be more of it,
And
and
that
the
was before.
chances are it will potentially be higher on the quality tables.
My guess there is if you'd already peaked, you had a normal loot drop. Therefore, you took the potion, it had to add something, so it just completely refilled the loot by the sounds of it.
Well, it just picks from the loot table again, but with the new parameters of you can now have 3 loot sets instead of 2, and the max quality can be this instead of that. You can't keep re-rolling it. It's just like it's applied. It's applied. So yes, so tomorrow we will be removing the hard lock on unlocked structures. So anybody will be able to access a structure that is unlocked. The side effect of this is all equipment placed at trading posts will then become usable by everybody.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah, totally. The grinders and everything's
Yeah,
going to work
exactly.
again. Yeah.
Then we've got S Plus changes. Now, I haven't implemented any of the new features in S Plus yet, simply because it's the first update it's had in a long time, and it was a substantial update. It was like major changes. The first, and I put that in chat as soon as the update dropped. I'm like, oh, this is really cool stuff, but I'm not going to do it because I expect there'll be another patch tomorrow. And lo and behold, second patch rolled out to fix some issues. Now, what I can't figure out at the moment is if the issues that are being still reported with S Plus are because people are using, or other server admins are using stacking mods, or if it's an actual problem. And the main problem being is some materials are not able to be pulled across the pull system. And in particular, things like polymer and organic polymer, and the different types of chitin. So if your recipe requires one, you can normally substitute with another and it'll automatically pull whatever you've got stock of. I've seen reports that it requires exact match resources to do the resource crafting. However, it will be a massive benefit to the cluster because it will significantly reduce the size of the save files and the amount of data that's moved around when it comes to storage and dedicated storage. It also means we can finally disable the egg drop on the propagator. So these reams of reports we get of people breeding, popping out eggs offline and us having to clear them all up will disappear. They also fixed the additional support distance. So a long time ago, we had +2 support distance on all structures, which meant you didn't have to put foundations or pillars as frequently. However, every time the server restarted and somebody pulled a structure up, bits of their base would fall down. So the fix has supposedly gone in to say additional support distance is now working after a server restart.
Foundation
So
spam. Yay!
So yeah, it means less foundations, less pillars, and potentially in the long run more structures.
Yeah, cooler, cleaner looking buildings. Awesome.
Yeah, so it means your structures will go further and you can build more.
Literally, just like that, Sandy. Yes.
Now, all of this stuff is really cool, and it requires a few config changes. We could put the changes in tomorrow, but there is no going back from the dedicated storage change. Once we make it, we're stuck with it. And if there are genuinely issues with it, we will be stuck with those issues until the next patch rolls out. So, need some thoughts here. What was changed? When you put stuff in dedicated storage, at the moment, it goes in stacks. So if you have 10,000 things and they all stack at 1,000, you have 10 stacks. dedicated storage has been updated so that it just records the total number of items, not the stacks, and the items in each stack. And that saves a lot of data. But it also means that the pull system works differently and how it interacts with other stuff. And once we convert everything over to using that new storage system, we can't convert it back. So if there's any issues, we'll be stuck with them until Structures Plus gets more updates. Well, yes. What I'm tempted to do is wait for the next update of Structures Plus to land and see what he has in his change notes. I have a feeling all the people whinging about the update are using stack mods, which is completely unnecessary now because Arc has a built-in functionality for altering stack sizes. There is no reason to have a stack mod on the server anymore. It's ridiculous.
More stuff to load from your guys' side.
The other thing that Orion fixed for us, which I reported to him, literally, he dropped the patch that day. I went straight into his nice cleaned out bug reports channel because he deletes all the bug reports as he deals with them. So he cleaned it out for the new update. And I said to him about the teleporters. Non-owning tribe members can change teleporter radius and stuff like that. That's been fixed. So feel free to set your teleporters to public again. Without any fear, people will come along and change their range or edit their settings or fuck with them in any way. Yes, fixed now. He dropped that in the patch yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
So I reported it on the 5th, he fixed it on the 6th and rolled out the patch.
And this is precisely why I say at the beginning, if you haven't voted on socials and sort of boosted our awareness, please do so, because we have got quite a good reach now. The more the name is known, the more we can get things done really, really quickly.
I would say Orion Sun gets a lot of shit and it's unnecessary and unwarranted.
Yes.
He has built a massive mod. He's got millions of people using it, and a very small selection of people feel it's okay to shit on his work, which I don't appreciate because it disincentivizes him to actually work on it. And yeah, that's kind of, I believe that's what pushes him to the long gaps in between updates, because there's only so much shit people can take when they're doing something for free that is extremely complex and time consuming. But anyway, Lottie, I don't think it's a stack mod, not 100% sure, but I'm in another server and they posted the same issue. Which one are you referring to? Resources not pulling or requiring exact match on resource when pulling for a craft? Yeah, people have choices. They don't have to use it if they don't want to. If they're unhappy with what he makes, just don't use it. Don't need to say anything. Or at least be constructive in your feedback. But some of the comments that he was getting was just like, so if they pulled to craft 5 propagators, the organic Apollo didn't pull for the 5 props. That was probably because it was looking for manufactured polymer, not organic. So that would be the problem. Organic's a substitute for normal, and yeah, that's the issue that's being reported, like the chitin variants and stuff like that. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Plum, but it's just handy to click the button and say pull resources for 6 crafts of something, and they appear in your thing. So what I think then is, based off of that, is we'll implement the changes that are reversible. So we'll increase the support distance. We will disable propagator egg drop. And we will also, bonus here, re-enable boss summons from transmitters.
Ooh, nice.
Because I believe that has been fixed, but we'll have to re-enable it, and then we'll have to go check it on every map and see what's what, because I believe he may have inadvertently added Titan summons to the transmitter on extinction. So I may not be enabling that one. Because we don't want people summoning King Titan in the middle of the city. Yeah, the problem with Lost Island was the vanilla boss summons were present, and when you activated them, they teleported you to the arena, and the arena didn't exist, and you died.
Yeah.
So we disabled them for the sake of our own sanity and to save people from their own curiosity.
People got turned inside out and deleted. Wasn't pleasant. I've not seen it yet either. Ready, guys. How are things going?
Well, there's an update on that.
Ooh.
Think I've pretty much nailed the access to the ARC shop from the website. Not buying, just checking prices and things like that. So we'll have a reference point. My next task is to build the calculator that will calculate minimum prices for trading bred dinos.
That'll be a big thing. That'll be cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of start work on that after Wednesday maintenance.
Islands is killing me. Somebody give me something. Are things settling down now? Is trading resuming, and are things less aggro? Do tell. Or are people waiting for the tools like the calculator and things like that?
I think most people are waiting.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of going to be our priority next.
Yeah, get that done, and then we can. Cool. Okay, nice. We're saved. Backy has landed. Then you got to tell him. See, you're late. Late, Backy. Really late.
So, quick sum up with ARC then.
Yep.
We've got extended foundation support for structures going in tomorrow. So we'll push that out by an extra 2 foundations. So you'll need less pillars and less foundations. Hopefully the bug fix on S Plus works over server restarts and people don't find bits dropping out their bases when they pick things up. The transmitter will have boss summons re-enabled on it, as that's now been updated to work with DLC maps. The propagator will have its auto eject disabled. Too many people leaving them running and spewing stuff onto the map. And as we know, it's one of our rules. You should not do that, especially if you're offline. We will not enable the changes to dedicated storage. Simply because there's a few issues that need ironing out with that. But when we do, it will be very good. Save times will be down. Data transmission across the servers will be down. Lag will be reduced. Structure locks will be removed. Well, not structure locks, sorry. Preventing access to unlocked structures will be removed as well tomorrow. Structures are automatically locked by default. You unlock them, make sure your base is secure, put a roof on it, put walls around it, put doors, put window shutters on, maybe create a button that closes all your doors and windows when you log out. All that kind of cool stuff. Do it.
And word of warning, if some of you are thinking about running around the map and checking for people's open boxes, please don't. Just don't do it. There will be a size 10 right up your backside very, very quickly. Be nice.
And the last one was where has it gone? Can't find it now. I've forgotten which one it was. But anyway, that's the summary of the changes for Arc coming in tomorrow. Please make use of all the tribe vaults. Go claim your tribe vaults at the trading posts. Perfect for storage when you're hopping around maps.
Okay, I'm getting to your question. So we have two questions. Okay, is it okay to do if you have a hatchery running?
Hatchery's fine, because there's only a finite number of eggs you can put in a hatchery.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
I'm guessing you mean,
jet.
are you talking about jettisoning eggs as long as you have a hatchery running, yeah? Yeah.
No. Your hatchery fills up, the eggs keep coming. That's the whole problem.
We used to do it like that, and we were cool with that for a while until we fast figured out that 90% of people just forget. And then I always go down the toilet again, trying to clean up after people and digging 5,000 wyvern eggs out of the mesh, which I've done multiple times now, and it's. Sadly, though, I completely trust you, but there will always be somebody, if that is an option, that they will do it and they will cock it up and crash servers. It's been done multiple times now.
Right now, there's somebody breeding on Fjordjaw. Whatever their system is, it's overflowing because there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Carcharodontosaurus were killed a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it's a common thing, unfortunately.
Before that, there was somebody spamming tech gigas on Gen 2. I know that much. That Fjordjaw Carcharodontosaurus problem. An hour before that, another 10 were cleaned up, and an hour before that, and an hour before that, and an hour before that. It just kind of goes on like that.
Yeah.
Somebody's breeding dodos on rag. That was spewing out dodos in the early hours of the morning. Yeah, it's just kind of like pain in the ass.
Two more questions before we move on. Again, one from Plumfish, a little confused. I missed the trading post meeting. And one from Lego Head. What's the type of shock auction method actually decided? So, yes, we had, I think it took us about an hour and a half. Everybody had a nice chat. We came up with a decision that, in fact, we did post this, didn't we? There was actually something in news, I believe, we can link to.
Yeah.
One of the admins can find me that would be awesome. But basically, the TLDR was nobody is to sell below shop prices, and we have come up with a kind of equation to base the dinosaur prices off based on what type of mutations they have and stuff. And we've agreed to do a tool for that so that you'll be able to go to the website, plug the stats of your dinosaur in, and get a reasonable price. We are fully understanding that people will totally want to give their best mate a dino. A like-for-like trade is absolutely fine. Just, stay within the rules. Everybody will be cool. But one of the admins, I'm sure, will find that post. It should be under news somewhere or server updates. And we'll wang that in for you in a minute. This guy will not be the mod method. The problem with the mod, it's an older mod. The guy who's doing it, who also does the zombie mod, which is really cool, isn't quite in the mood for coding at the moment. He was off doing other things, has a life. And most of that stuff is the one I'm referring to. Let me have a quick look. Why is that not loaded? Yes, that is exactly the one. Thank you very much. Yeah, there we go. Quickie for admin. Sorted. All good. So if you have a read through that, DJ's going to get the tool on the website done, and then things should be in a better place. Again, if they're not, and people are still having issues, please do reach out. We do want to clean up. There we go. There it is. So all of that was discussed by everybody who turned up. Again, thank you to those who did. And everybody seems to be in agreement of that.
The only bit that we haven't figured out yet, and we still want some assistance with, is number 10, a better way to list and participate in auctions. We do want, I really want a method whereby players can actually bid on things and participate in an actual auction. And yes, the mod in game does fit that bill perfectly, but we don't know how it's going to be updated and maintained going forward.
Yeah, the major part of that mod is everything is stored his side on his server. So if he did decide to shut down or something went wrong, you would lose everything. And there's nothing we can do to bring that back.
Yeah, that's a very good idea, El Capitano. Block the auction house from messages and make it a forum. That's something we considered.
Yeah, we have talked about that already. That's a good idea.
The WoW auction house is a mod. It's called Auction House.
Yeah.
It's hosted externally, fires off a lot of data elsewhere, and is not completely up to date at the moment. I mean, like, I'm torn. I really am. The auction house mod is good, and once we have the rules in place, it would be a really good way of trading. And we could then, I don't know, we could say trading for profit has to be done through the auction house.
Yes, well volunteered, Sandy. When can we be expecting that? Woman of your caliber, a week? Yeah, a few days?
There's no way in hell I'm even taking that task on.
Yeah, I can imagine that's hell on earth. Yeah. Which again, it's a really cool job he's done on that. It's a great mod, but dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I get scared with when I added the button to the game, so you push B and it hoovers up your loot around you and stuff. The way that actually works is, and this is the way that the transfer of all materials in Ark works, is it destroys the items and then it recreates them in the destination inventory. That's scary because you're removing the items from the player and then you're creating them somewhere else. And if you get that wrong, you end up with people losing shit left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff doesn't move in Ark. It gets destroyed and recreated. That is how it moves.
You the angry mob with pitchforks. Yeah, totally.
Now imagine trying to do that with a dino and all the stats that it has and the colouring and all that crap.
What do you think in your dino pocket? That's what you do.
Yeah, need a dino pocket, horse pocket. Anyway, it's massively complex. I think that just about covers Ark, though.
I think it does.
Lots going on tomorrow.
We can
just got to remember to shut the servers down.
They should all be in shutdown mode now, right?
I didn't put it back after last week, so I'll do it before I go bed tonight.
Anyway, so yeah, let's move on and let's do some Rust stuff. I know there are some Rust players in the chat, and I know some of them are definitely watching the video afterwards. So it's been a busy week. Obviously, we've got a new map. It's going really well. Facepunch seem to have, with their latest update, increased frames in the game as well. I'm quite chuffed with that. I think I've gained at least 30 frames. So we have some changes that we've been working on so far this week, and I'm sure more are coming. The first one, thank you to Becky for reporting and doing the testing for us, is the meteor event. So, as most are aware who have been playing, we have meteors falling from the sky on the new map. It's kind of an archetype, yeah, exactly like that. That exactly, but in the 40s. Like 40 of them come from the sky, they impact the floor, and much like on Ark, you find your little nodes around, you can mine your rocks and stuff like that, and you can mine your metal nodes. These things exist in Rust, but we've actually got them falling from the sky now. They can be normal rocks or huge rocks. The huge ones are way, way bigger. You'll see them. They're completely massive and you can't miss them. You can only use timed explosives to mine the big ones. So timed explosives is basically Rust's currency. Everything exists around the ability to blow things up. So these should give you 2.5 times the resources based from the sulfur one uses to craft the explosives you used in the first place. So one C4 will mine you enough sulfur to build 2.5 more C4. So after some testing yesterday, Becky pointed out that the math on it wasn't quite working. We've been working on that today, fixed it. Stone yield per timed explosive is now 16,035. Metal yield per timed explosive, so each explosive is 11,000 metal per. And sulfur yield is now up to 5,500 per. There we go. So this is based off C4, one C4, costing 2,200 sulfur to craft. This gives you a 2.5 times return on your timed explosive. Normal rocks, when mined conventionally, give 1,000 stone, 600 metal, or 300 sulfur. So using those ratios, we've upped the metal and the stone too, so that everything is in line now. Should be absolutely perfect. Just make sure they don't land on your head when they come down, because they really, really hurt. So hopefully, meteor event, line under that, all fixed. And cheers for that, Becky.
Have you seen Pitbull's picture of meteors landing in Ark?
It is exactly like that. It is literally that thing. They come down with a big trailing smoke behind them. You hear the big thud as they hit the floor. It's pretty cool. I could do with something similar. I really like that because it's like a primal sort of before time map sort of thing we've got going. So it kind of fits that there's still meteors raining from the sky and all that sort of thing. Then we've done a load of NPC changes. These have been the NPCs have been getting out of hand again. So all tribal NPCs from the new Skull Island map, and yes, I said Skull Island. The new map is entirely based off the Kong Skull Island movie. So all tribal NPCs have had their accuracy fixed to slightly sub-Stormtrooper levels. All tribal NPCs from Skull Island have also had their medical items reduced to 1. I don't fully understand how a bunch of guys with spears and kilts and stuff on know how to use advanced medical equipment, so they've been reduced to 1 heal per. All tribal NPCs from Skull Island have had their Red Bull rations taken away, so they no longer have wings, and yeah, exactly. They should be a little bit better now. So we won't get sort of like... We have these like abominations of like... If Mo Farrow had a baby with Linford Christie, these are these guys from Skull Island. They're on crack. They're totally way too fast, so they've all had their Red Bull taken away. Whilst doing that, I quickly got carried away and did something else. So all zombies from Cataclysm, which was the previous map, have had their walkie-talkies taken away because, I mean, there's zombies and they can't use them. So why would they be carrying them, really?
They might be resurrected security guards and the button got stuck down. So all you hear is...
They could be. But the general consensus from the players, which surprises me, says they don't want to hear them. They absolutely want to get bum rushed around the corner by 50 zombies. So they have it your way. That's really cool. Also, zombies from Cataclysm have had time to breed, and we're not going into explanations here. That's going to get gross. And we'll be present in way bigger numbers now when Cataclysm comes back around. So you can now expect hordes in the cities. I'm putting a lot of time into that, and we're going to get that right.
Breeding zombies was covered in I Am Legend.
It was, and there was also
There's a sequel coming to that.
really they're doing a part 2.
Yeah, Will
that's-
Smith, he's back.
Did you have you seen the Chris Rock thing, the live thing he did on Saturday? He did like a live stand up, and
No.
he said nothing for an entire year after the slapping incident at the Oscars, and he brought it out for his new comedy stand up on Saturday night, and he slaughtered the dude. He did not hold back, did he? It was, yeah. I think he's done really well to hold back for a year, considering he's a comedian as well, and he could have totally clapped back quite a few times now, and he's just left it. I heard it's not going to star Will Smith. Is this untrue? That is a good question. Who knows with cancel culture? He's not quite in the public's good eye at the moment, is he? So I would like to see him in it. I think the dude made a mistake. Everybody does make mistakes.